With 95% certainty, Indonesian search officials say debris found off waters off the island of Borneo is from AirAsia Flight 8501. Now take a look at these photos, and in one of them you can clearly see an orange life jacket. Indonesian media have also shown bodies floating in the water. Now the Wall Street Journal Southeast Asia Bureau Chief Patrick McDowell joins me on the line from Jakarta. Patrick, what is the latest?
Well, this is the biggest breakthrough since the jetliner disappeared on Sunday. Search and rescue officials found this wreckage scattered on an area on the southwestern coast of Borneo earlier this afternoon, went low and started identifying pieces as possibly coming from the airplane. They found bodies floating in the water, as you said. There are now 21 divers who are being flown in from another island to get to this site and to go underwater and see exactly what is down there. Officials have said they think they see the shadow of what looks like the body of the airplane.
Right. Now, we've been talking about the material, the actual plane itself. Of course, this is a very human tragedy. What's coming out of the next of kin, the families and the relatives who have all been waiting for this news?
This is a scene of heartbreaking desolation. The families and relatives have been in a holding center in Surabaya where the flight originated from. They've been keeping a pretty stiff upper lip until today, but when these first news reports came on, they were broadcast just continuously on Indonesian television, and you saw the reserve breakdown. People were fainting, weeping, screaming. Some had to be carried out on stretchers. Complete state of shock all around. They were prepared for what was coming, but when the reality hit them, they just couldn't contain themselves anymore.
You know, along with the reaction from families, we have seen the very real-time reaction to CEO Tony Fernandez. He's been tweeting all along. A recent tweet was him saying his heart was filled with sadness at the news that the AirAsia flight was found in waters off Borneo. So with Tony Fernandez, what do you think he's going to do next? What do you think has his reaction been, and how have people been taking that?
Tony Fernandez has distinguished himself as really one of the tycoons of the world, a CEO with a big heart, if you will. He has been with these people since the beginning. He's stayed in the center with them. He keeps them briefed on what's going on with the airline and the latest, and very publicly on social media been letting his own emotions go through. He had a tweet where he just said his heart bled for the families and friends, and we see that when he comes on onto the scene at the holding center. What Mr. Fernandez needs to do next, I think, is to reestablish his airline as what it was before. It had a perfect safety record until this accident. People do not seem to be holding AirAsia responsible in a negative way for this accident, but Mr. Fernandez has shown himself, I think, through the personal touches, quite a contrast in some of the more bureaucratic responses that happened earlier with the Malaysian Airlines disasters earlier this year, which was much more of a committee and bureaucratic approach.
Right, and it's important to note, of course, that AirAsia has had a very good track record in the roughly dozen years or more that it's been flying. Now, moving ahead, now that the debris has been found, what's next for the recovery effort?
This is the question on everyone's mind. It will, if this proves to be the airplane, the pieces will be recovered and brought to the nearest town in Borneo, which is Pangkalabun, where they will be sorted. Investigators will have to go over this wreckage, I imagine, for many weeks, trying to put together what exactly happened on the airplane.
And it's no surprise that President Joko Widodo is headed over to Borneo to meet with friends and relatives of those next of kin. What might be expected from him?
He has a very charismatic a manner with ordinary people, and he will certainly be wanting to see the rescue workers, the families, anybody who's there really working on the job and establishing a kind of a personal connection with them. A less flamboyant character, perhaps, Mr. Fernandez, but one that also finds it equally easy to establish connection with ordinary people.
Right, he was elected as a man of the people in this year's elections. All right, we'll leave it at there. The Wall Street Journal's Southeast Asia Bureau Chief Patrick McDowell on the latest news. According to Indonesian officials, 95% certainty debris off Borneo is missing AirAsia Flight 8501.